Hey guys, it's time for another Gunpla Quick-Fix video. Well, first off, I just want to apologize that I've been really behind on doing these Gunpla Quick-Fix videos, and this one is going to be especially quick and especially easy and something that probably most people already are well aware of and probably already doing. But for some beginners out there, this may just be like pretty helpful little hint. Today I'm just going to talk about just drilling out gun barrels, especially on small stuff. So usually on like rifles, something like this, the barrel, there'll be a hole there. This one in this case though is not all that deep, so I'll drill that out one a little bit further. But stuff like this, where you can see this is supposed to have some vulcans here in the head, but there isn't actually any detail in there. I mean, the detail's there, but there's no actual hole for the gun barrel. So when you paint that, it'll be hard to put a little hole there. You'll have to just put like a little drop of black paint or something. So instead, we're just going to just drill out a tiny little hole in there, and then other than that, I'll make it look more realistic. Another thing we're also going to work with is the recent HD mobile worker from the Iron Blooded Arms option set 6. As you can see, the barrel here is just flat on the end, no actual hole for that, and this small one here too, which is really small, but we're going to try to drill that one out there as well. So really, all you need for this is just a drill or a pin vise. In this case is what this is called. I forget which brand mine is. It's not Tamiya, it's a different brand. I forget the name of it. And then I also have some Stylex. Stylex is just another kind of modeling brand here. It's especially popular here in Korea. Very similar to like Tamiya or something, but just kind of like smaller and usually cheaper. So this is just a set of drill bits. These are just smaller ones. I have a few larger ones as well, but in this case we'll use these small ones. Also just going to use a hobby knife just for making a little bit of a guide for drilling the holes. So the first thing we need to do, why don't we do the easiest one first here. We have the gun barrel for the rifle. First thing you need to do is just decide which size you need. In this case, I think I will use, these are a couple of larger ones that I have that I think were included with that drill bit. For doing a gun barrel like this, it's pretty easy to figure out which one you need. You just test it out, see which drill bit fits into the hole. And this one is a little bit big, but that's okay. I'll use that one that's just slightly larger. So you can see this one just barely doesn't quite fit into the barrel there. So that means it will give us a nice even hole there. Basically the point of this is that the hole is already there, but just to make it look that much more realistic, we'll make that hole nice and deep. Now this pin vise, I guess I should show you, has a few different settings. So like it has this part here, and this is for a certain range of sizes, and this one here on the other side is for, obviously you can see they're much smaller sizes. And then in the bottom part of this, there is another one of those just for more just drill sizes. So you just pick whichever one is going to work for you. I didn't plan that, but actually the one that was already in there is already the right size that I need in this case, so I can use that. So just going to hold this straight, and in some cases you might want to use some sort of clamp or a vise to hold your part, but this is pretty straightforward. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna mess this up. But if you do want to be extra sure, extra safe, you could use a vise. I have a small vise which actually would work fine for this, but yeah, again in this case I'm not really too worried about it as it's pretty simple. So I've got that deeper. I want to go a little bit deeper with that, I guess. So that should be enough. There, I've got that hole much deeper, so that that's just going to look a lot more realistic. You definitely won't see any end in there. It'll actually look like the barrel goes all the way in. So next, why don't we take a look at the mobile worker here. In this one, I know I'm going to need something much smaller. So I can go to these smaller bits here and just sort of take a look here. I think maybe this one is going to be probably pretty good, so let's try that. In this kind of situation, it would always be better to use something smaller than what you think you'll need, because then if you need to go bigger, it's very easy to just switch to a bigger size and then just go through the hole again. But here is where your hobby knife is going to come into play. I think I've shown this on videos before, but just to recap this, I basically just use this as a way to just mark the center of the spot and just pop out just a little thing there, just so that will act as a guide. So your drill bit will be in the center. So if you just make a little mark, then you know you'll be drilling in the center of the part. So that should be enough there. We can get to drilling now. In this one, I'm not worried about going as deep because it's so small. I just want to just make just a hole there, just so that you can see a hole. I'm not as worried about it being really that deep in this case. And then just to flatten out the end there, just hit it for a second with a sanding stick. And I can see, unfortunately, my hole was a little bit off center there. So what I can do here, again, because I said I was not really worried about this hole being that deep, what I can do to just fix the look of the hole so that it looks more centered, because as it was not in the center. So what I'm doing is just carving the hole out just a little bit more down to make it look more centered, because I still had a lot of space there to work with. So there we go. It's kind of hard to see and looking kind of rough there just without any paint or primer. But once you get some primer sprayed on that, it'll cover up the miscoloration of that. And then my cannon will actually look like a cannon instead of just a little stick sticking out. So let me switch to an even smaller drill bit, and we'll try to drill out this little tiny one here at the bottom there as well. Alright, got my super tiny drill bit on there now, and got my piece marked. So just going to start the drill in. Again, using some sort of vise or something is of course a good idea, but this is, again, just for demonstration's sake, just so you guys can get an idea of the process. It's quite simple, but very useful. Again, just need to drill out just enough to give it the effect of a tiny little barrel there. So there you go. You can see after the drilling it's a little bit rough there. I'll just try to clean that up a little bit. Alright, sorry I couldn't do that cleaning up this hole actually on camera. I had to look at it really close, and it's really hard to do that in front of the camera. It's for such a tiny piece. But there you can see we've got our little barrel added. So when we plug this back onto the mobile worker, our mobile worker actually has cannon looking cannons instead of just things sticking off the front. So there is that effect. Now let's take a look at the Zaku's little vulcans here on his head. So first I think it'd be a good idea to take off the head. Can you guys believe that? That antenna just poked my thumb and now it's bleeding. I guess I shouldn't have sharpened that so sharp when I sanded it down before. Anyway, just be careful when you do that. I'm just going to take these off for the time being. Actually, I can't take that off because it's part of the head. Dang, well I took off the antenna just to be safe, so not to break that. But just going to have to be careful not to poke myself anymore with that little commander fin there. Same process is going to apply. I'm just going to mark a couple holes on here for these vulcans and then drill them out. So this is a little bit harder because it's a barrel, it's like kind of set in the head there, so it's going to be kind of harder to get to the center of it. But I'm going to do my best here, and then we'll just clean it up afterwards once we've got the hole in. So that should be enough just to get us going here. Alright, so sorry I haven't really been telling you guys the actual exact sizes of drill bits I've been using. I don't think it really matters exactly for the purposes of this video, but just in case anyone's curious, the really super small one that I was just using for the smaller barrel on the mobile worker was a 0.4 millimeter. This one is a 0.5 millimeter, so half a millimeter hole there. It's going to be very, very small. This one I'm going to try and just basically just set it as close to the head as possible. And this one as well, really only need a little bit just for the effect. It doesn't need to be deep at all. Just clear this excess away a little bit there. And I really should have, I already poked that side and I should have just left it there so you guys could see the difference. But here you go. For example, you can see that we already got some little bit in there. And just to make that easier for you guys to see, I'll just hit it with a little bit of accent wash panel liner just so that you can see that better. Just drop that there, and a little clean up, and there you go. Now my vulcans actually look like vulcans and actually look like gun barrels on there. So that's pretty much it for this video. Again, this is a super simple technique that I'm sure a lot of you probably are well aware of and probably already doing. But for those of you who aren't, this is just really something easy to do. All you need is just a pin vise and a set of drill bits. That won't really cost you too much. There's a lot of different brands to choose from and different sizes to choose from. I would recommend getting a small set like this. You will actually, these larger size ones, I think this biggest one is like 2 millimeters, 2.5 millimeters or something like that. These larger ones I actually use a lot more than the really tiny ones because they're much more useful for like drilling holes if you want to do some modifying, like making a new peg hole or something for something. Those are actually more useful for that. But for drilling out gun barrels on like really small like HG kits and stuff, these small ones are useful for that. I like for the Vulcans, for the heads especially. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I promise I'll be working on more quick fix videos more in the future. So hope this was helpful for you guys. Let me know maybe what some other techniques you might want to see and stuff. But I'll just be working on stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.